such great science talks this morning, I thought I would do something a little different so I couldn't be held up in direct comparison, and also to kind of break up the morning for us. So back in 1977, Jim Brown, Dinah Davidson, and Jim Richmond set up an ambitious field project to manipulate rodent and ant communities. Sorry, I couldn't tell if Alan was giving me hand signals. Portal doesn't play in this crowd. To study competition. I don't know how long they thought the project would run, probably about the length of a single grant, but this year marks the 35th anniversary of Portal. And it seems fitting to say a few words about Portal at Jim's retirement because Portal has played an integral role in the Brown Lab. Whether it was a central or a peripheral part of an individual graduate student or postdoc's experience, legions of Brownies have either served as RAs or postdocs or volunteers helping to collect the data, have played with the data for their own personal projects, or have just sat through the numerous talks in Brown Lab meetings about what was going on at the site. And the success of the interaction between the site, the young scientists, and Jim's mentoring can really be seen in the scientific productivity and impact of Portal over the years. Since 1977, at least 113 publications have been produced that have used data from Portal in at least some fashion. These papers have generated 8,262 citations, and if Portal was a person, it would have an H-index of 49. To put this into some perspective, if you go on Google Scholar today and pull up the people who have identified themselves as community ecologists, Portal would be the 4th most cited community ecologist up there. So that's not too bad. Now, one of the things that's been the real strength of Portal over the years has been its real flexibility and ability to address a wide array of questions. And over the years, the questions that Portal has been used to address have changed as the questions that ecology, the field of ecology itself has been interested in. And what I'm going to show you over the next few slides are wordles. Wordles of the titles of Portal papers from different periods of time. And so a wordle basically takes the frequency with which a word is used is displayed in proportion to the size of the font. So words that are used a lot are going to be bigger, and words that are used very infrequently are going to be much smaller displayed. And so here is the wordle of all of the titles published from 1977 to 1987. And if we ignore the taxon and more site or habitat-specific words and focus on the conceptual words, the 5 largest words on that list are community, granivores, experiment, species, and competition. And this very nicely reflects the questions that Portal was initially designed to address. But as we move forward in time, we'll see that new words start to emerge on these lists, and also in the smaller fonts as well. But of the dominant words, new words start to pop up as we go forward in time. And this shows the flexibility of Portal to address all of these different questions as the field itself has changed. Now, Portal doesn't write its own papers, we're calling it its own author. It doesn't write its own papers. And so Portal, the story of Portal, always has to come back to the people who have been involved in Portal. And I think one of the story of Portal is really the young graduate students and the postdocs who have come through over the years and engaged with the site and with their own sets of interests and questions, and tried to make Portal do things that were new. And so names come and go, and they get bigger and they get smaller. But they're really the generating force behind. They've really been the generating force behind what has kept Portal so nimble and contemporary. And hopefully, by staying true to this spirit, Wordles 10 years from now will continue to reflect this dynamic synergy between the young people and emerging questions in the field. So, in my abstract, which I'm sure nobody read, I had alluded to the fact that I might have a few words to say about how the morphology of Jim and the morphology of Portal have coincided through time. And I sat down to say a few words on this topic, and then I realized many of us have had a long temporal history with Portal, and perhaps none of us would really like to have that comparison occur at this meeting as well. And so instead, I would just like to end by saying a very sincere thank you to Jim and Dinah for setting up such a wonderful site that has been so important to the careers of so many of us. Thank you.